Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Burdick, and now while I am no Renaissance man, I am somewhat of a sort of jack of all trades, probably master of none. I thought it would be appropriate to start my story with sort of a common thread that runs through a whole lot of my life, and that is music. I love music. I started playing the trumpet in 6th grade and played throughout the 12th grade. And it was sometime during high school I began to play guitar and also do something that sort of resembled singing. So I began to really, a real love affair with writing music and playing in many bands throughout my 20s. And most of them were original bands. And a couple of them actually, we had a little bit of regional success. One band in particular, we did some sort of regional touring around the South and had a few CDs and had a little heyday there, and that was pretty nice. And so it was about a few months actually after 9/11, excuse me, where I decided I wanted to go to church, and I went over to Hope Church off 30th Beach, where I met a few people that's here, and it was a little time after that I became a Christian, and inevitably they kind of recruited me into the worship band there. And so I've done that for a few years now. And it was about a year and a half ago the pastor came to me and asked if me and my wife wanted to go out to lead the music at Breakthrough Church, which is where we've been doing that. That's where Stephen and Joey and I attend church. And we're just really enjoying that. And it's perfect fit for me because, you know, at Hope, I was always sort of the house rocker guy, and so there it's a college, it's a UTA ministry, and that works great because it's the college kids, and we have a little more lively music time there at church. So we just have a blast, and my wife and I just love it, and so I just love music. I also love to cook. I still love to cook. I want to flash back, though, in my story one time here to just outside of high school. I started in the restaurant business, worked in a nice restaurant in Oklahoma City, and I did that for a little while, and about 4 years later I moved to Texas, and I worked in a couple of restaurants once I got here. And one summer I was working at the Outback Steakhouse, and one of the prep cooks kept talking about his brother who was in a framing crew, and they needed some lumber toters, and I was starting to get restless with the greasy kitchen. And so I still love to cook, but I kind of got out of the restaurant business and went and worked on this framing crew. And I had never worked outside or swung a hammer in my life, and so I went out there. I'll never forget the first day on the job out there. Now, you've never really fully experienced the Texas heat until you've worked a full day out in late July, hard labor. This was my very first experience even working outside at all. And I stepped on a nail with this foot early in the day, a nail with this foot later in the day, and a guy shot me from about 20 foot away with a nail gun. Supposedly it had ricocheted off a board. By the end of the day, they had me up on this 20-foot scaffold. And I'm not talking about the kind of scaffold that has like the metal stackables, or has something around you. I'm talking about a 2x12 sitting on 2x6 legs with sort of these treehouse block ladders sort of going up to it. And so I'm up there and the wind is kicking up and I'm holding like a ridge in one hand and a rafter in one hand. And this carpenter guy is crowding up on me with a nail gun, trying to shoot them together. And it was just a crazy day. I really think they didn't think I was going to come back. And actually, it was sort of that sort of mentality where we'll just drive to help them to the ground. If they come back the next day, well, maybe we can make something out of them, kind of. And so I thought hard about not coming back. I did come back, though. In fact, I've been doing carpentry for 15 years since then. So, but the last few years have been pretty good. I kind of carved out a niche of just doing staircases and radius staircases in some big houses. And there's a few years there where I was just doing 3 and 4 and 5 staircases a week, and so that was really great. As you might have imagined, as the housing industry's tanked, though, my work has steadily tapered off, and so not long ago I went out and started looking for a job, and Randy Minen, who's the reason I'm here, he found out I was looking for work and brought me in for an interview. And so I'm sitting in the interview, and about halfway through it, I still didn't really know what they did there. I realized it was sales. I was like, oh no. In my mind, I'm thinking my only short little experience with sales was part-time for a while. I did the street perfume sales guys. Have you ever seen those? And this was just a horrible experience. Plus, I'm an introvert, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm for this. But after he explained what it was they do there, what they sell, I'm thinking, I thought, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. And so I've been doing this for a few weeks, and actually, I really enjoy it. And I think I'm doing pretty well. And so as it stands, I'm part-time carpenter, still doing carpentry. I've got a few staircases coming up, and part-time salesman, and part-time musician. So all sorts of different things. But I wanted to close. I kind of toiled about, okay, do I talk about what I do or who I am, and I really hear him talk about the things that I do, and I know some would argue that what you do is intrinsically tied to who you are, and in a sense I would agree with that, but I really think there's more to it, and so I just wanted to finish with a little bit about who I am, and just say that I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a follower, and I'm a leader. But more than that, I'm a father, and I'm a husband, and I'm a lover and a fighter. And but when it comes to my wife, I try to be more lover. But most of all, I'm a man that's created by God, and I really have the privilege and the opportunity to just give it all back to Him. Thanks for
Wow.